points
Sure.
that I feel are really pertinent to this argument. Most importantly, if the Air Force and the government are so bent upon spending lots of money and their excuse is that it's old, perhaps for half as much money, could they not design a new model and begin production on a whole new fleet? For half as much as an F-35. And second, and almost as importantly, the capabilities of this and the F-35, as far as on-station abilities, which is the primary concern as far as people like me, perhaps videos of this could start being shown to the public in general in some way, and not just the policymakers, because the policymakers have made it clear that they're more interested in wine and cheese, if you pardon the expression.
I get it.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, would you do us a favor on your way out? Would you give at least an email address so that I can get in contact with you?
Yes, sir.
I'd love to do that.
This gentleman right here.
I think you touched on it, but could you explain the difference between the capability of an A-10 and a drone on the battlefield?
Yes. Drones have gotten a lot of publicity in Afghanistan. So let's take a look at what's different about Afghanistan, and we can kind of define what the drones do versus what the A-10 does. There's no threat to a drone in Afghanistan. There's no surface-to-air missiles. There's no anti-aircraft artillery. There's no conventional threats that normal areas of responsibility, Iran, North Korea, China, etc., would have. So there's no threat of this aircraft from being shot down because, frankly, at the speeds that they fly, they are extremely vulnerable to any threat out there. In fact, if we go up even against the Iraqi army, if we were to go up against them tomorrow with all these RPAs, you'd have to be wearing a helmet because you'd be afraid they'd be landing on you. There's no way they'll be able to survive even a remotely contested type of environment. So what's the difference between these is you have a command cell that is looking, and the aircraft has a sensor. So it has a 1-degree eyeball, and it's trying to build, it can vary that field of view, but its best resolution is 1 degree. Eyeball's about 60. So you're talking about a soda straw looking out across the battlefield, and they send it to a location, and they can orbit for hours. And so the video stream goes back to the big board so the generals can see what's going on in a given area. So it is a very viable in Afghanistan and other contingency ops to be able to gain awareness of what's going on the ground because you have a camera. You have various different types of sensors. They can pipe that through so the general can see on the big board what the bad guys are doing. But you can only do that in an environment where the bad guys can't shoot it down. So what they are doing with the drones is those same sensors have lasers. And so if the conditions are right, they can either shoot Hellfire missiles or they can drop laser-guided bombs on that laser spot provided by that drone. So their awareness is a TV screen. Their ability to discern where the friendlies are versus where the enemy is versus is there women and children around that campfire or just the bad guy is based on a 2-dimensional TV screen. And what I will say is their ability to not kill innocent civilians is poor. I mean, that is a huge difference. There's been numerous instances in Afghanistan where ground parties looking at screens from predator feeds have said, hit that target, we want to kill that guy right there. And the A-10 guy has come up there closer, had a better sensors that are on that drone to start with, gotten closer with a better resolution and be able to say that there's men and women around that bad guy, and that whole compound is normal Afghan life. Do not hit that target. There is friendlies in that compound. A B-1, for example, same type of sensor checks in and says, if you're not going to hit an A-10 guy, I'll drop on it. And this is, no kidding, real-world stuff that's happened. The ground party said, great, you're up. They come in there, they drop 3 500-pound bombs, kill all the men, women, and children that are in that compound, and then our officials have to go and apologize to the president. So the difference, to answer your question, there's multiple differences. Number one, they don't have the resolution to be able to discern everything that's going on the ground. Number two, if there's weather, they're done. Mother Nature puts a cloud deck out there, between their orbiting altitude and the ground, they're done, completely done. They don't have any point and shoot weapons that do not require laser or precise coordinates. So this line of scrimmage analogy that I was giving you, this guy on the ground that's getting shot at does not have time to tell me coordinates. He does have time to tell me, from that artillery impact, go 50 meters east. He does have that capability. And I can visually see where that artillery round hit, and I can put point and shoot very accurate gunfire on it. The drone can't do that. It's not an event, it is what we call ground-directed interdiction. It is, I see a target, I have the coordinates, I'm not taking fire, so all this information can be, given to them. And they come in a very controlled environment and they put ordnance on target. And unfortunately, they are not good at discerning when good people are mixed in with the bad guys. I hope that answered.